stop, so I swerve to the right. I'll never forget the sound that night, the screaming tires and the busting glass, the painful scream that I last. Where, oh where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good, so I can see my baby. Hey, how you doing, Justin? Here it is, Last Kiss by Pearl Jam. Another one of those songs where you go like, oh man, how good is Eddie Vedder's voice? I mean, the whole band is amazing, right? I'm a big fan. I also love in this song the weaving of the guitar parts. It's actually a pretty nice one for beginners because it's only got 4 chords all of the way through. And if you want to keep the strumming real simple, you can use Old Faithful strumming pattern, and it works great throughout the whole thing. Even though there's only one chord progression, there's a couple of stops on the G, and they happen at slightly different points depending on whether you're in a chorus or a verse. And unusually, the song starts with a chorus. So the first chord is a G. Okay, pretty standard, kind of rock G, I suppose, works slightly better for this sound with a little bit of crunch going on. If you were playing acoustic, you could use just like regular, whatever G chord you happen to know. I like that one for the rock sound a little bit. E minor, it's the second chord, another pretty standard grip, not too many variations for that. C, next, so I'm playing C with a G bass here, holding the 3rd fret with my 3rd finger's holding both the strings, but you could be muting the thicker string as well, that would work great. And D chord, muting the thicker string there. So let's dig into the rhythm a little bit now. We're going to start with the real basic beginner strumming pattern, which is this one I call Old Faithful. Down, down, up, down. Just back my volume right down, which will clean the sound up a little bit. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. That should be your first starting point for this song. Getting used to that pattern, making sure it's nice and relaxed and feeling good. It doesn't want to be all... As soon as you get tension in it, it's going to get kind of lumpy. Wants to be just really relaxed. Don't worry if you put an extra strum. Doesn't matter if you forget one or a couple. As long as you keep your hand moving, you're going to be all right. Okay? That will be step 1. Take it through that whole chord progression, which actually, let's just run through that. Apply that pattern to the chords first of all. So we just have the G, 2, 3, 4. Oh G, can my E minor B? C, Lord took her a D from me. She's G to heaven, so my E minor to be good, so C can see my baby when I D. It's G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're into the verse. Same pattern each time. We just go around that same chord sequence. When we reach the end of the verse or the end of the chorus, we strum the G chord for 1 bar, then play a G and let it hang for 1 whole bar. That's how the chord sequence fits in with the song. But fairly soon, you're probably going to get a bit bored of just doing that strumming pattern, and there's some delicious things to steal from the Pearl Jam idea. It's basically, there's lots of different chord ornaments and picking that you can add into the song that kind of weaves things together, especially if you've got one guitar doing like a straight acoustic strumming thing, and another one doing, I call it picked fingerstyle. It's neither fingerstyle, but it is picked. It sounds a little bit like fingerstyle, which is why I've given it that name. So let me just show you what's going on there. I'm going to stay with down, down, up, down. For the first strum on beat 1, I'm going to do more of a kind of a proper strum. But on the other ones, I'm going to pick out notes. I'm going to keep my hand moving like it's strumming, but I'm going to pick out individual notes as I feel like it. Let me just play through that a couple of times and you'll see what I mean. So 3, 4, G. You can see that actually my hand motion was pretty consistent like it was strumming, but I'm picking out individual notes instead. I've got, again, a whole lesson on this over on the website called Picked Fingerstyle. That's a weird explanation, but it kind of makes sense, right? Because it feels a little bit like I'm picking notes out individually like you would in fingerstyle. But the idea, if I just do it real slowly, in fact, I'll give you a bit, slightly better angle there now. So I'm going like down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. There's no pattern. I mean, it seems to me this works real nice to have up, up on the thinner string, and then the second string, down, down, thinner string, second string, thinner second. And this isn't on the record. This is just the style of what's going on, because it should be a little bit random. You can get creative with this. Now, I'm starting to incorporate chordal embellishments as well, so picking out other notes from the chords to create this embellishment. There's quite a lot of these, particularly on the D chord. It's a common one in the Pearl Jam thing, is to go from the D chord, lift off your second finger and play the thinner string, and then the G chord, I'm stopping my strum after the second string, so my pick is actually left resting on the thinner string, which makes that note, the D note, the highest note. If I strummed all of them, if I went, we hear da da da. If I stop on the second string, you can hear it, you hear da da da, this little change of melody. The fun thing with this kind of technique is it looks kind of simple, and it is conceptually very simple, but it takes a bit of practice to get it to the point where it's nice and relaxed and you can just kind of do it without thinking about it too much. I think the best approach is just to start on one chord and not move from it. So just stay on the G. Get used to this idea of picking the notes out individually. It doesn't have to always go. It does seem like I'm very often picking the thinner string first. Guess that's just the kind of pattern that works well for this. You get a lot of melody on the thinner strings. It's part of the deal with that. Just muck around on the G for a bit, then maybe move to the E minor. You lift up the first, second and third fingers as well to get that nice little C. You got this real nice one. This is the little lifting the second finger. Hammer. But you've also got lifting off the first finger, there's a variation, adding little finger down gives you that C add 9 sound. With the D, you've got all of these little D sus, D sus 4, D sus 2 to the G, or if you want to go down to D7, it's a nice one there for the G. There are gazillions of variations that you can explore on this, and it's such a great song for it because the chords are so simple. You get two guitar players doing this same idea, but because they'll be kind of riffing it slightly different, feeling different variations at different time, you get that real nice weaving sort of thing, like Rolling Stones are the masters of that, but definitely Pearl Jam, one of the finest pair of guitar weavers, or trio of guitar weavers that exist in rock music, and definitely worth a little bit of further study. If there are any particular variations that grab your ear while you're listening to it, see if you can work them out yourself, because that's a really, really good way to learn this. Hear the thing, goes in your head, find the thing on the instrument, you develop that relationship between your musical mind and your hand, which is something you don't get many other ways. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Plenty more Pearl Jam coming up. Don't forget to hit, slap and like. That is hit the subscribe button so you get told when I've got new lessons coming out. Slap me a like and let me know in the comments how you got on with this lesson and what other Pearl Jam songs you'd love me to do lessons on. There are some stellar songs already in the pipeline as well for you. You take care of yourselves. I'll see you plenty more very soon. Bye.